SDG 3, Good Health and Well-being, which advocates for universal access to healthcare, including sexual and reproductive health. And SDG 5, which is gender equality, which demands that we empower all women and girls by removing obstacles that limit their full participation in society, menstruation being one of the most overlooked barriers. This is specifically at Loksakha Welfare Society, we have taken this mission to heart. Through our flagship initiative, Kusum Katha, we've worked tirelessly in the remote areas of the Sundarbans, Baruipur, Burdwan, and Birbhum. The project has reached over 15,000 persons, educating and empowering them with knowledge about menstrual hygiene, and more importantly, teaching women to create their own sustainable sanitary pads. It is, in fact, a proud example of what a community-centered grassroots approach can achieve. Later in this discussion, we will hear from our Kusum Katha project lead, Shushmita Ghosh, who will share more about this initiative's holistic impact. But before we do that, we'd like to introduce you to the experienced and discerning panel we have with us today. A group of passionate experts, educators, and change makers, all working in different ways toward a period-friendly world. First, Arjun K., a water sanitation hygiene specialist at WaterAid India, an international charity with the vision of a world where everyone has access to safe water and sanitation. A postgraduate from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Arjun has considerable expertise in the area, having worked with UNICEF on multiple projects. We will hear more from him on the importance of wash and menstrual health management. Our next panelist, Dr. Sunita Sharma Palchaudhary, renowned gynecologist and obstetrician specializing in reproductive medicine and surgery, particularly in areas like minimal stimulation IVF and biomarkers of endometrial receptivity. She's also involved in research on recurrent pregnancy loss and new approaches to pain and infertility management in women with endometriosis and adenomyosis. She will speak about her experiences and how we can tackle menstrual problems. Shushmita Ghosh, project lead for Kusum Katha, has over 2 decades of experience as a teacher in national and international schools and headed institutions across India. She now leads our Kusum Katha project that empowers women through knowledge and skill building. So, to begin our discussion, I'd like to set the stage with a key question to Arjun. So why is menstrual hygiene still a challenge in many parts of India, yet so central to women empowerment and general progress? Over to you, Arjun.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Loksakha, for this opportunity. It is indeed an important discussion which we're having today. And menstrual hygiene, as we know, it's continuously to be a significant challenge in India to persistent cultural taboos and lack of access to safe and affordable products. When the question which you have asked about why menstrual hygiene is still a challenge in many parts of the India, and that is a question which honestly hits me or many of us working in the field to home. It's like especially when it relates, I relate it with the water sanitation hygiene landscape. One major reason which I feel tremendously is still the cultural taboos and stigma that exist in the country. It is still illustrating how deeply rooted the beliefs and practices in the country are affecting the dignity, health, and freedom of menstruating girls and women and other menstruators in the country. So I believe that the taboos and stigmas are still prevalent, and that is one of the major reasons. Although a lot of NGOs and other government systems have went deep root into the systems and trying to make them aware about the need of menstruation, menstrual product, and other access to safety products as well. One being said, so one often problem which we are seeing in this landscape is menstruation often seen as an impure or dirty by many of the family members, or many of the, especially like the category which I am including as men, because of lack of knowledge and access to it. Second point, which I should say, is like silence around the same topic prevents open dialogue and discussions around the menstruation. So that is also one of the key topic which is still prevailing in the country and within our community system itself. The cultural taboos, when we deeply look into the systems or deeply look into the Indian context, there are a lot of examples and a lot of studies which are there prevalent in the space, in this menstrual space. It is like many of the districts, when we have talked to the women and other people, uh, there are a lot of open discussions which came through, and then a lot of recorded discussion as well. Especially if we can take an example which is being recorded as like in Gadchiroli districts of Maharashtra, there is an practice still existing in isolating the menstruating women in separate huts, known as that Kurmagar system, where they will be like separately taken out from the house, and that woman or the menstruator will be like placed in that hut for a longer period of time till the menstruation is over. So these kind of deep-rooted cultural taboos still prevailing. Uh, this makes us to go deep into the system and make them aware that how this can be changed, or make them come out of that space is a little bit difficult. That makes a big challenge for us. Like making them aware about the this cultural taboo is not something which you should focus on, rather than to focus on the health and well-being of this woman. Being said, so one important fact of India being so diversified, so culturally enriched country, is that we also celebrate these menstruations as well. If we talk about the state of Tamil Nadu, there is a concept called as Manjal Neerattu Vida, which is a kind of turmeric bath ceremony, if I'm not wrong. It's like the girl child during her first menstruation will be like celebrated by their family members through by calling the community and having a feast around that celebration on that day. One another best example, if I recall, like recently I've been to Odisha, and then from there I came to know that there is a Rajaprabha kind of festival in Odisha, which is also kind of marking that celebration of menstruation and womanhood, in which almost a month of or 3 to 5 days of that womanhood will be celebrated in the space. So uh, there is like we should say there is cultural taboo and also awareness concerns are there still existing, but there are practices which is like both boon and bane for the society. Uh, this is one of the most important thing which I felt over this experience in the field. Second, second reason, or the second one of the major important part which I personally feel is about the lack of menstrual health education at this space. The lack of menstrual health education, if I'm saying, like that is also associated with the cultural taboos, but in this era of in this 21st century, the menstrual health education landscape is improving, although, but the main factor is that it is not being deep rooted into the systems. Like, for example, for myself in my personal learning, I've studied in Kerala, where we say that 100% literacy. So obviously, the education system is like prevailing. There is a chapter also in the like sexual reproductive health system in during our classes and all. At that time, what I personally felt is that we boys in the classroom have been thrown out and asked to go and play in the ground, and then that sessions has been taken personally with the girls in the classroom. So these kind of segregation at school level itself have made the menstrual health education only consigned to certain individuals, that is the menstruators only, and not to men, not to the boys in the schools. So it starts from a school curriculum that we need. There are a lot of lack of structured menstrual curriculum or trained teachers in the schools at my time, that this knowledge has not been imparted properly, is what I feel. um, this, although there are like a lot of NGOs working in this field, I think a structure needs to be decided, and which is a challenge still existing in the education system, that boys are not involved in the conversations around menstruation. Lastly, but least, I would say that the landscape in the menstrual products have changed a lot drastically. The menstrual product landscape, and due to the awareness in the regions, have made the people to use a lot of products. Like they have, like from the city life to the rural villages, a lot of intrusions are there happening. And then because of all those involvement of NGOs and other civil societies organizations and government systems, the knowledge about the menstrual products is like widened, I should say. And that also reflects in the data sets which the government have shown us. In the NFHS, if you see, it is like 64 to 65% of women are aware about menstrual products, and they're using the menstrual protection methods and everything. So a safe pad usage or other consent or safe menstrual product usages are very much high in among women in the country, although the remaining 35 needs to be countered in terms of like product usages. But one challenge associated with the safe usage of this product is that the infrastructure needs, which is need to be required. So this is actually, I believe that this is interconnected. When we are talking a lot about the menstrual space, menstrual education, menstrual product usage, what about the infrastructure that the woman needs in the society? So when the women feel that they are like in a safe place to change the pads, and or in a safe place that they can go around without thinking that when I will need to change the pad, at what time I need to change it, but what if I got a menstruation all of a sudden? So that concern, that situation will not be there if we have a proper infrastructure facilities in the
Right.
community, in safe places and everywhere. So I think these are the mostly common challenges which I feel that we need to focus on. But there are like some
Yeah.
factors involving into the empowerment as well, as you mentioned. Although there are a lot of women-centered programs, as you mentioned very correctly, this is actually a kind
Right.
of women empowerment systems which we have to focus on, and it is
Sure.
really associated with this. Menstrual hygiene is definitely associated with the women empowerment systems. It's like menstrual hygiene is just, it's not just about hygiene when we are focusing about menstruation. It's about the dignity, about the health, and it's about giving the menstruators the freedom to participate fully, like whether it is a
Sure.
school, it's a workplace, or it's in a community space, or whether it is in a job circle, or whatever the ecosystem is.
Yeah,
That's why it's
we
very
will
important.
come to those points in a
Yeah,
bit also, Arjun.
absolutely. Yeah.
But while you were talking about menstrual products and how it is still a challenge and the different kinds of problems that women still face, I'd like to bring in Dr. Sunita here because she's specializing in reproductive medicine. So, Dr. Sunita, how does lack of awareness affect menstrual health outcomes? And what are some of the major period related issues you encounter in your daily practice?
Okay. Thank you, Priyadarshini. Uh, Before going to talk about the menstrual hygiene, we should know about what is menstruation. I think before starting the period, first period we call it menarche. Before starting this period, we don't know, our girls don't know what is period, how it happens. So first of all, we have to know the menstruation. It is not a, it is a vital process of our body, like how we breathe, how we, our heartbeat, our heart is beating. It is like that only. Every month we are having the bleeding from our vagina. So how it happens? A girl when it borns with 1 to 2 million egg in her ovaries, and one of her egg comes from the fallopian tube and implant into the uterus, and simultaneously uterus is making one soft lining made up of uterine tissues and tiny blood vessel. In absence of pregnancy, this tiny tissue and blood vessel break down, and it is coming from the vagina as a vaginal blood, that is a menstrual bleeding. So it's not an impure thing, it's a totally pure thing. But if we are not having a good protection from this blood, we can get the infection. Then you have to tell your women or your girls, adolescent girl, or who are reaching to the puberty, you should have a knowledge prior to reaching your puberty, that uh, the blood, the period which is coming is your vital process, and you can, because of this you can carry a baby, you can carry forward the race. So first educate your girl or your woman, or also ensure that the biological and societal aspect of this period, they should know, boys and girls both should know, so that the boys also can take care their wife or their siblings, the females, that sisters, they can take care of them if the daughter has some problem like heavy bleeding or cramping during the period. Now coming to what are the irregularities with period, we can have an irregular period, we can have a heavy period, or there can be delayed period. What is this irregular period? In first 2 years of menarche, that means first period, periods can be irregular. So we don't have to panic if we have a period, irregular period during this time. Because the hormonal changes is happening in the adolescent or pubertal girls, and that takes time, 2 years time to settle down. So this is normal. But beyond that, if you have an irregular period, either short period or delayed period, then you have to consult your gynecologist. Long period, if occurs after 2 years, it can be due to polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is very common today's because of sedentary lifestyle, because we are eating so much that we are not losing our this calorie by doing exercise, only sitting and only doing this thing sedentary lifestyle. So that should be we have to educate this to our adolescent and the women, that you have to take care of, you have to think about this irregularity. Now coming to the painful period, normal pain is common in the normal, uterine cramp is very common in the normal period also, because there is a chemical which is coming from the female which is called prostaglandin, and this prostaglandin causes a muscular contraction which help to take out this blood, that breaking of this uterine tissues and blood, and it will help to evacuate all the lining. It is normal, but if it is coming in the excess way, then it can cause the excessive uterine cramp. At that time you have to consult your gynecologist. There is one word, PMS, premenstrual syndrome, and this is syndrome which is associated with headache, irritability, then weight gain 5 to 7 days before starting of period. And if you have a knowledge about this thing, you can tackle this thing. This is very normal. This is because of the hormonal changes, imbalance hormone. Because of that, sorry, because of that it happens. So these challenges, if we can educate our female population, we can have we can also help to them to have a good menstrual hygiene. Your last question was how to. What was your last question?
What are some of the major issues you encounter in your daily practice is what I was saying. And, Arjun also mentioned while speaking about some sustainable menstrual products. So
Yes.
if you can throw some light on the role of these kind of new sustainable menstrual products that have come out, and if they would be of how they could help.
Yes. So sustainable means eco-friendly, na?
Yes.
We can use the menstrual cup. Initially, it was not popular. Now it has become popular because we can reuse it. Then we can use the this one, panty, period panty made up of sustainable the eco-friendly fabrics, and then you can use the tampon also, and you can use the sanitary napkin made up of eco-friendly this product. But what I am saying, that that cup, menstrual cup, is very good for this thing if we can know how to use it. Initially when they start using, they are very uncomfortable because you have to put your finger in the vagina and you have to keep it and you have to change and you have to rinse every time when you are using it. So these are very uncomfortable for our this one our female population. But once they start using for next 2 to 3 months, they will be comfortable with this menstrual cup. I think we should promote this one.
Sure. Uh, so, Shushmita, I'd like to bring you in here uh, because I know Kusum Katha is working with a lot of sustainable products. So, can you share with us how Kusum Katha approached menstrual health education and sustainability at the grassroots level, and what you've seen in terms of real life impact?
Thank you, Priyadarshini. In camps across villages, we share about science behind menstruation and the menstrual cycle, menstrual products available, and empower them on how to use those products, environmental hazards that some of these products bring with them, breaking free from the social taboo around menstruation. At the end of the session, we provide 2 packets of sanitary napkins to each beneficiary. Loksakha Welfare Society conducts at least 6 sessions every month in rural location to reach out to women to explain them scientifically what are periods and why does it happen. We explain to them and make them aware as to what are the different types of food one should eat during their period. How can one keep themselves clean and what should one use during these times? We try to break the taboo and superstitions prevalent in the minds of these illiterate and semi illiterate women. They are explained and given the confidence that period is a normal process. It is also our endeavor to educate and empower them so that they can pass on this knowledge to others in the future. We are promoting use of reusable sanitary napkins as a cheaper and sustainable alternative. We have already conducted 2 training sessions and trained almost 30 women on the making of such reusable sanitary napkins. These trainings are done so that they can independently make these pads, becoming self reliant to manage their periods and even turning their skills into possible earning opportunities. This also promotes environment sustainability by reducing waste through reusable products. A second part of your question was what I have seen in terms of real life impact, right?
Yes, that's right.
So, in practical and real life terms, majority of women are not aware at all. They come from such low economic backgrounds and condition that they cannot afford to buy even the sanitary napkins for their own use. But what we have experienced, especially after conducting the repeat session that we generally do as a follow-up to the main session, the awareness level becomes much better than earlier, and the women are trying to maintain the basic hygiene level. For example, during periods, they are now resisting from having bath in the common ponds, trying to eat iron-rich food, etc.
So, Shushmita, I'm sure in trying to do this, you faced a lot of challenges, right? So, what kind of challenges did your team face, and how did you overcome those?
We work in very remote areas in West Bengal, like Sundarbans, Baruipur, Burdwan, etc. Reaching to some of these locations sometimes require using 8 to 10 different types of transport and even crossing 3 to 4 rivers in one day, despite the different weather conditions. We have to organize this session as per their convenience, adjusting to their timings, as most of them work in the field helping their families in agriculture. Sorry. Uh, just a minute. Second greatest challenge is to convince the local women from these backward areas to attend these sessions, because generation after generation, due to lack of knowledge and education, they have grown up by adhering to local customs, traditions, and superstitions. For example, many women shared that they are not allowed even to enter the kitchen and cook food for their families during their periods, and have to be in complete isolation from the family. Through holding regular session in different locations, we educate these women on the importance of following basic hygiene level and help them to come out from the social taboos and unwanted restrictions.
Right. So, sorry. This is, I mean, I understand from all of you that there are many ways in which to engage schools, families, and communities in this process. So, Arjun, again, I'll start with you maybe. What would you say are some of the effective ways to engage these community schools to normalize menstruation, and what role can NGOs like us play in this?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Uh, and this is a very interesting question as well. Like, what are the effective ways? So I should say that we are already practicing a lot of good ways, which we are doing in the field as of now. Uh, the best way I still feel from the experience what we have is like to normalize the normalizing menstruation should start with the open conversations within the community, within the spaces which you have mentioned, whether it is schools, families, or any other institutions. And I strongly believe that the school plays a most important and strategic place to begin with, because we have the children who experience their first periods from the schools onwards. And one major strategic way which we can use to make this normalization is like to include boys, as I said before. A chapter about menstruation. We should not exclude the boys during this education on menstruation, menarche, or anything in the schools. We should have an inclusive learning platform where the men also should understand that what is the boys, young boys should also understand what is menstruation, what it does to their female colleagues in the school. And also there are a lot of initiatives which in a school as a curriculum or in a school as a space can be effective towards this strategic involvement, is that in some of the schools we have seen, and some of the NGOs are doing this concept of like MHM labs in the schools, where a kind of just like a library, there is an MHM space in a school where the menstrual products, the menstrupedia, the initiatives, IEC activities, and everything is being displayed in a certain corners where all the students in the school can go and see and access to it and understand and ask questions about what is this and what is not. So these kind of different cues and nudges in a school definitely create a lot of space for these open conversations, is that what I feel. Another major impact, what we have seen and what we all have experienced is IEC and messagings, like at the family level, at the community level, a lot of IECs and messages in the local dialect and local languages will definitely have a more impact in the community. And few strategies which personally within our organization, what we have used is celebrating key events in the community, whether if it is their local festival, whether it is their community festival. Especially if I take an example in Chhattisgarh, what we have done is like celebrating the Raksha Bandhan in the community. And in that community, what we did is like through our certain interventions, the community people celebrate Raksha Bandhan, and the pads are being gifted to the sisters by brothers, and pads are given to the mothers as an hand holding support to the woman, and understanding that this is not your only problem, it is our problem as well. So, and there are some communities which is having first period talks within the group of women who are like talking to their children about what is periods, and those age category where the girl will be experiencing their first menarche. And these are some of the cues and nudges or key activities and initiative which I feel. Well, on coming to the second question is very important. And over the years, what I felt is also I want to share. We as an NGOs, we as a civil society organizations, or those players who are there, are definitely working in large scale, large impact initiatives are being done in the communities. But I should say that instead of working in silos in particular community, I think there should be collaboration between NGOs in the same space if there are multiple NGOs working in the same community. And that will definitely improve the support which we can extend to the local governance, the departments, and the different departments who are involved in these initiatives to create awareness. Because I sometimes feel that some NGOs come in for certain amount of time, do the same strategy, investments, and everything, and then they just leave. And then another one pitches to the same place. One more, in accordance to that, which what I feel is that as an NGO, we should also try to not to leave in a situation where the villages are not aware on the sustainability aspect of these programs. We used to have certain programs run for 3-4 years and then we leave behind. But I think there should be an accountable mechanism systems which we should set up in the community so that the villagers can take it up, even if like we are not there in the community. So a handover procedures should be particularly much required in these communities so that they will be self-sustainable and reliant on this particular space. Yeah, these are my thoughts here.
Great. Thank you so much. Those were really important, and those were really very good ways to do this. Dr. Sunita, would you like to add to that? How we can, what are the effective ways to engage everyone to normalize menstruation? What role can we play as NGOs?
Thank you, Priyadarshini, for the question. I think most important thing is we have to integrate comprehensive menstrual health education into school curriculum. Then, so that we can have a knowledge about the menstruation to boys and girls both. They will understand this normal biology and accordingly they can act. Then we have to equip educators with the knowledge and skill to discuss the menstruation openly and sensitively in the classroom. This is a very important thing because even our teachers are not very open regarding this thing. They will say, okay, go to this room, change your this thing. They are not openly talking about this thing. So we have to have a teacher training. Third one is access to the period product. That means you have to access it in the bathroom of the school so that they will not, the girls will not absent during their period. So school should have this thing in their they can provide affordable menstrual product in bathroom to remove the stress of managing the period during the classes. Now, how to involve the families? We have to have a parental awareness program. Very important. So that by doing the workshop you are doing is, I think you are also doing the parental awareness program so that they understood how to support their children during the puberty and normalize the discussion about the menstruation at home. Now, open conversation is also very necessary. That will encourage the family to talk about this problem, both with their friends, both with their other family members, so they can remove their embarrassment. This will reinforce it as a natural and healthy part of the life. Menstruation is a normal part of the life. And regarding the community engagement, you can do the public awareness campaign, like use social media, street plays and local event to spread the knowledge and challenges menstrual taboos. Then menstrual health, you can identify and empower community leader to advocate the period positivity and distribute your resources. One thing you can also do is you can do the partnership with the local businessman so that they can provide this menstrual product in a cheaper cost. This you can do is. And being an NGO, you can also participate with your government in policy making so that they can provide, they can push the school so that they can have a menstrual friendly policies like inclusion
Right.
of education in the their curriculum.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Sunita. Those were very unique and very good suggestions. I especially like the street plays and parental awareness programs, which I think no matter which strata of society you are in, these would definitely be effective. Shushmita, you would like to add to that?
Yes, thanks, Priyadarshini. Apart from conducting normal sessions with rural women, we are also conducting sessions in different schools for young girls of class 7 to 12 so that they do not get into the trap of local customs. For overall awareness and to ensure that this is not just a girls' issue, and also to make everybody understand their responsibilities, we also conduct mixed sessions in school along with the boys. We believe that this will help to increase overall awareness. This is crucial for challenging harmful gender stereotypes and fostering a deeper understanding of menstrual health. We have collaborated with Sundarban Coastal Police, which organizes awareness programs called Shayang Shittha, where we conduct these mixed sessions. Our efforts have also been appreciated by Rotary International, and our Kusum Katha project was awarded the first prize in the category of women empowerment for the year 2024.
So Arjun and Dr. Sunita. So, as you can see, as an NGO, Lokshakha is already quite effective in the role that we are playing. But some of your suggestions we can still incorporate. And on this point, I think Dr. Sunita just mentioned, Arjun, that for us to be effective in this space, we need policy and advocacy, right? So, since you've worked with a lot of, with the UN and a lot of the other projects on this particular area, what policy shifts do we need to improve menstrual health infrastructure? You did mention it briefly when you were speaking about it initially. So, if you could just throw some more light on that, please.
Yeah, so policy, if we talk about in menstrual health space, we dedicated policy as such we don't have, but like we have a lot of commendable work being done by in the space of MHM by the government of India. Um, so if we see what are the main programs or policies which we have like menstrual hygiene schemes, which is there under the Ministry of Health, and we have an MHM guideline which is there for schools in the space. And there are like a lot of programs like RKSK does have an menstrual chapter in it, like, and it also provide menstrual safer pads for the girls and girls and everyone. And in certain programs, our government have definitely included a space, particularly for the menstrual hygiene infrastructures or in terms of disposal mechanism. Under if we take the names of those programs, which is like Swachh Bharat Mission and Jal Jeevan Mission and Poshan Abhiyan. So these are the platforms where there is a mention about either it is a menstrual a safe disposal mechanism or it's like a menstrual hygiene infrastructure needs to be pertained to. Um, Apart from this, also, if I just brief a little bit about other than these programs, the certain state initiatives are also needs to be highlighted here. Many of the states have their own schemes which promote sustainable usage of pads or like awareness generation through pad distribution and other IEC materials. Especially like if we talk about Odisha, they have the Kushi scheme, Kushi Plus scheme. In Maharashtra, they have Asmita Plus. So certain states have certain initiatives which they are very much ongoing, and then they are most focused on having a menstrual hygiene safe place for the menstruators. Recently, I should also say that I was reading a document in this. It is mentioned that Ministry of Health and Family Welfare have officially launched an IEC material on menstrual hygiene and management, which is like mainly can be used by the grassroots level, the influencers and all, like in terms of like our ANMs, ASHAs, and everyone, where there are a lot of brochures, pamphlets, short films, and digital posters are available, which can be used to educate the menstruators in the not even menstruators, the men and anyone who are there in the space. Policy say set so policy shift, which in terms of wash infrastructure, particularly to your question, I feel that there should be shift from awareness to ensuring infrastructure space availability. We are largely speaking a lot on this awareness. I precisely say that awareness is much required. But in terms of awareness, we also tell them that once they are aware, what needs to be done further. That is like infrastructure in terms of like what they have to do further to it after getting the awareness. So I believe that we need to have a clear infrastructure standards in terms of like I mentioned toilets or the mentioned friendly spaces in the communities in the public spaces and all for the menstruators, which also should have a standardized ideation of like the proper water availability, the menstrual waste disposal mechanism systems, and the functional toilet standards and everything. Although it's briefly mentioned in parts and pieces, bits and pieces, but like we have to make a standardized version for each institutions is what I feel. Said so, the financing aspect of the same is a bit of a challenge. There should be sustainable finance model, which should make these infrastructures being implemented in the field where they feel that there should be a safe space for women or menstruators who can use this. So a safe finance system is also sustainable financing needs to be ensured, and like there should be a parked fund for these infrastructure to be included in their budget is what I feel also. There are also a lot of innovations are being done in the space of menstrual health and hygiene. And recently, I met a lot of innovators who have come for a conclave, and their innovations are very fantastic. But the thing is that it is not being disseminated to each and every one of us. We are still on the factor in the phase of like using the pads, because which is also a very much important thing, because we cannot jump directly into the innovation. We have to sensitize the people who are having still myths and taboos. Fostering innovation is something which fostering innovation, promoting it is something which policy in terms of policy or guideline which we need to focus, because if we go the data again, we go for the data there. India is generating around 12.5 billion pads annually, so the disposal mechanism is something which is very much challenging for us also. So creating some incentives in startups in startup India or some other government campaigns will be helpful for these innovators. um, and I believe these are the main part. And lastly, the menstrual policy should have whatever menstrual policy, although the government, I forgot to mention, the government have drafted a menstrual health policy. It is under review, and we are also hoping that it comes to us fast, because a lot of initiatives, when we read through it, it is like very fantastic one, and hoping that if it comes into place, then it will be a game changer for all of us in this space who are working for a menstrual and dignity centered programming.
Oh, that's fantastic. Good to know. Shushmita, you want to add how we can ensure long term impact and community ownership of such programs?
Thanks, Pradarshini. We believe to educate mothers and government support through different schemes. At the core of our mission is the belief that empowered women lead to healthier children and sustainable communities. By equipping women with the skills to create reusable sanitary napkins, we are fostering self reliance, improving health outcomes, and contributing to a cleaner environment. We look forward to expanding our reach and ensuring that all members of our community have access to accurate and inclusive information about menstrual health.
Thank you, Shushmita. So, just one thing, I think since we've heard everyone and we've heard that there is a lot that still needs to be done in this field, can let's each one of us take one bold step towards a period friendly world. We'll go around the table then. Dr. Sharma, I think you could go first. What would be your call to action for improving menstrual health in India?
I think we should have integrate age appropriate health education into our curriculum. We must educate our teachers, parents, and community to discuss menstruation openly and create campaigns that target both boys and girls. That will normalize the conversation. And we have to end stigma and cultural barrier associated with our menstruation. This is very much important, and you people are doing very great job providing the awareness
Thank you.
program in the rural area, and you are giving also the menstrual product them. This is very good thing, but you should
Thank you.
I think you should collaborate with the this policy maker to support the product subsidy, and I think there is a debate ongoing regarding the menstrual leave, so you can also think about this thing also, so that you can
Sure.
collaborate with the policymaker.
Sure. Thank you. We will. Arjun, you want to go next on what will be your call to action for improving menstrual health in India?
I think we should have a shared responsibility on this menstrual health space, is what I feel, because it should not be done in silos. It should be a kind of shared responsibility. Whether I'm a brother, I'm a father, I'm a colleague, I'm a partner, whatever I should be. It should be a shared responsibility of family, friends, and everyone towards this menstruators who are menstruating. And I think we should also start with the basics of like that every girls should have the right of information, as doctor was saying, that about the periods, and they should have an access to safe and hygienic products and space for respect and dignity. So and I'm also I wanted to say that whoever we are, like in the space of menstrual, in the space, we should listen to these people with patience, act with purpose, and respond with heart, because periods deserve more of an empathy and action than being silent, is what I feel. So shared responsibility, have a huge voice, uh, if we can be in this space, and especially to start with us like men. So what now is happening is like the men in menstruation is missing. So the menstruation starts with men, and that men itself is missing. Although there is a lot of change which has happened over the years, but lot to change more. I should say, yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Right. Shushmita?
I believe educating people at the grassroots level and increasing awareness. Number two, easy and cheap availability of sanitary napkins.
Absolutely. I think that is a common point everyone has spoken about, that we need to make our menstrual products more affordable, easy to access, and make them more available and sustainable throughout, right? um, if there's anything else that you would like to mention here, um, anybody which I haven't perhaps asked a question, but you would like to make your point here, please feel free uh, to add if there is anything.
I think everything has discussed.
Sure. So then, thank you all for your thoughtful insights and commitment to this cause. I think our key takeaways are menstrual hygiene is not just a woman's issue. As Arjun rightly said, menstruation begins with the men. So it has to be an inclusive and collaborative effort. It's a public health, education, and human rights issue. So we need to make sure that there is enough awareness programs about it, and it includes a mixed audience of both men and women in this space. Policy changes and infrastructure, I think we are working on it. We already have, as Arjun said, that there's something is in the works, and it's already, he's seen it and he thinks that it's going to be very good for us. So let's hope that we have more programs and menstrual health schemes and ways of disposing the waste, which is also a huge problem, as he mentioned. 12 million, you said, right? 12 million pads
12 billion
wasted.
pads, 12.5 billion
Billion.
pads, billion, yeah.
So, I mean, we really need to, I think, step up there next. Once we have educated people on what it is, we should also educate them about how to dispose them, right? That would be one of the next key programs, I guess. And I think the other really big takeaway for all of us would be collaborating with each other, right? We can't work in silos. And this is not, your, mine problem. It is everyone's problem. So let's find ways in which we can collaborate and make menstrual hygiene something that's normal to talk about, that's not something that you just brush under the carpet, but find ways in which to support, take shared responsibility, as Arjun mentioned, listen with patience, and respond with our hearts. Thank you, everyone, for this wonderful discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you
so
very
much.
much. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Sunita, for making some time for us. And
I am also
Arjun,
honored to have to be in the panel.
the pleasure